What is good, YouTube? Maydubs here, back with another video, guys. We have some more breaking news, notes, highlights, observations from another day here in Patriots training camp. But in this video specifically, I want to break down 10 players who actually looked really good during Sunday's practice, just to keep you guys updated with some of the guys who have been standing out so far in camp. And, just so you guys aren't surprised if someone starts to get first team reps over the next few days. I want to keep you guys updated with everything. So make sure you guys do me a favor before we jump into the video. Hit that like button just so we can get this video to more Patriots fans around the world. But also subscribe to the channel if you're new. I will be covering the entirety of the NFL offseason, which includes free agency, trades, training camp, preseason, regular season, everything you could think of. I've got you guys covered. But also, I will be live streaming some Patriots games as well. So if you want to watch some past games with me throughout the season, make sure you guys join the family. But without any further ado, let's get into the video. So a couple of guys who looked really good during yesterday's practice are a couple of young wide receivers, including Demario Douglas, who has been amazing throughout camp so far. Has showcased elite ability to go up and get almost any football, but as well being a great playmaker. But another guy who hasn't been good throughout training camp, but actually looked good on Sunday, was Tyquan Thornton. Now, we all know Tyquan Thornton was a very high draft pick of Bill Belichick. Last season has not really done too much at all, to support that being a second-round draft pick. However, he is starting to mix in with the ones. Yesterday, he had some times with Mac Jones. He got a nice little 11-11 catch. It was a deep throw, got it, so that was a nice one. Then he had another one on 7-on-7s from Zappy. It was like a 30-40 yarder where he broke the coverage and got a nice little catch as well. But when he was asked about his production in camp, he wasn't really concerned about it. He said, not many targets, but we're not counting stats. That's not what this camp is about. We're trying to be better as a unit. So that is a good thing to hear from Tyquan Thornton. Obviously, he's going to care a little bit about, him not being productive on the field, and he wants to be as productive as possible. But at the end of the day, his main concern is getting this football team to where it needs to be. And then in terms of Demario Douglas, he's always been so good in 7-on-7s. He caught a pass from Mac Jones. In 11-on-11s, he caught a couple of different passes. So he's been very involved in this offense so far this offseason throughout training camp. So he has definitely been a bright spot. And if you ask me, I think he might be a lock to make the roster. But not only that, but he might be a lock to be, wide receiver 4 on this roster come the regular season. Matthew Judon obviously signed his contract. He is ready to go. He is full participation on Sunday. So that was just something of note. I wouldn't say he looked particularly amazing, but I just, it's a fact that he's back at practice. He's healthy. He's ready to go, signed, and he's ready to go. So I'm excited about that. He did get through Connor McDermott, which would have been a sack on Mac Jones. So he did look good. I'm not saying he looked bad, but he just was. We're happy that he's back out there. Then Devontae Parker had a couple of big plays. Want to talk about him for a quick second, but actually, let's move on for the wide receivers. Let's talk about a rookie, Christian Gonzalez. I mean, he had his first team drill interception, I should say, on Sunday. Mac Jones tried to go long for rookie Kayshon Boutte down left sideline, but Christian Gonzalez was there making a crazy leaping catch, crazy leaping interception, and he came down with it. So Christian Gonzalez is really starting to add his dynamic into this defense, which is something that we all wanted to see going forward, and it's really starting to come together here. And then another DB who looked pretty good was Jabril Peppers. Now Jabril Peppers is a guy who has continued to rotate in with the ones every few days, and every so often he's been rotating in with the ones, but he's definitely made one of his best plays of camp so far. It was a red zone 11-on-11s, I believe, when he knocked the ball out of Hunter Henry's hands late in the possession. Like, it was going to be an easy touchdown, but he broke it up, so that was amazing to see. But it's fun and it's exciting to see the fact that how deep this defense really is when you have guys coming off the bench like a Jabril Peppers and like a Tyquan Thornton and like a Jalen Mills and Jack Jones and Miles Bryant. You have all these guys coming off the bench. It's actually very exciting because I feel like our defense is extremely deep this year. And, if we were to suffer an injury for a week or two, I feel like we'd have the perfect amount of talent behind them in order to still be very productive defensively. Now, another guy who looked pretty good was Juwan Bentley. Again, broke right through McDermott. I believe McDermott was playing left tackle, if I'm correct. But he, again, broke right through him. Maybe he was playing right tackle. But either way, Juwan Bentley, Matthew Judon had their way pretty much with McDermott through practice. getting into the backfield and pretty much doing whatever they want. Another guy who looked pretty good, another linebacker, Mack Wilson Sr., man. The guy we traded for, I believe he came from Cleveland. We ended up trading Chase Winovich, who is now, I believe, maybe in Houston. But either way, Mack Wilson is having a good camp so far. He's made a couple of good plays. I don't think he's a lock by any means to make the roster right now, but he is definitely doing what he needs to do in order to, turn some heads and potentially make this roster. I do like what he brings as a player. I think he adds a good amount of versatility in terms of, he's pretty good at dropping back into coverage. He can stop the run as well. So I think he's a guy who, should make the roster, but we'll end up seeing what happens with him. And then Amir Speed is another rookie 6th-round draft pick out of, I believe, Michigan State. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he has been, amazing on special teams, working with Joe Judge, and, he definitely looks to try to make this 53-man roster, and if he does, I feel like it will be strictly for a special teamer until he can start getting into the actual defensive sets. And then the last guy I want to talk about was Marte Mapu. I mean, this guy has been electric all camp. Yesterday, listen, he's a linebacker, but yesterday he was working with the cornerbacks. That's just how versatile he is, how quick he is, how smart he is as a player. So keep an eye on Marte Mapu, man. He has been, turning heads. He's been looking electric, fast, great acceleration, great IQ, probably one of the smartest players as a rookie in the NFL. So Marte Mapu is a guy who the Patriots love, have a lot of faith in, and like I said, he's been working with the defensive backs. I mean, it's crazy. So hit that like button, guys. Subscribe if you're new, join the family, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Today's video is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, and if you love playing fantasy sports like football, basketball, baseball, and so many other sports, but also love being able to win money, you're going to want to stick around for this whole segment. Introducing Underdog Fantasy, the ultimate platform for fantasy sports lovers. Do you want to experience the thrill of drafting your team and competing for huge prizes? Well, look no further. With Underdog Fantasy, you get access to a wide range of fantasy sports, including football, basketball, baseball, and so much more. But here's what makes Underdog Fantasy stand out from all of those other apps. They've got quick and user-friendly drafting process, a unique and exciting game formats, fair and competitive contests for all skill levels, and attractive bonuses and promotions. Not only can you draft teams and compete with others, but you can also play a game of higher and lower, which is personally my favorite thing to do on there, but you can potentially win 20 times the money you put down. And if you use code MattyDubs when you sign up, Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. And what that means is basically when you deposit, let's say $100, they'll give you a free $100 to use and play with. Click the link in the description to get started, or head to the website right now to start dominating the fantasy world. And don't miss out on all the fun. Be a part of the Underdog community starting now. And don't forget, if you use code MattyDubs, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. Let's get started. Get into drafts with me starting today.